the Carpet Stewardship Program in California, and the implementation of that program, which is in its infant stage. We have Randy Pollock from the Carpet America Recovery Effort, Ron Gritzer, president of LA Fibers and Reliance Carpet Cushion, and Larry Fink, the Carpet Recyclers. Gentlemen, thank you for coming in here, and only about 45 minutes late, but thank you. Thank you. Please, Mr. Pollock.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee. My name is Randy Pollock, and I'm here today on behalf of the Carpet America Recovery Effort, also known as CARE. CARE is a 501c3 organization that was founded in 2002 as a result of a memorandum of understanding for carpet stewardship, a national agreement signed by members of the carpet industry, representatives of government agencies at the federal, state, and local levels, and non-governmental organizations. CARE's effort is to increase the amount of recycling and reuse of post-consumer carpet and reduce the amount of waste carpet going to landfills. Between 2002 and 2009, over 1.6 billion pounds of carpet were diverted from landfills. It is also important to recognize that CARE has been successful, as its members include over 90% of U.S. carpet manufacturers who are responsible for 90% of all carpet sold in the United States. CARE is now working on a new MOU for the next 10 years with the same entities. Throughout 2010, the Carpet and Rug Institute, CARE, and individual carpet manufacturers worked long hours with Pete Price of the Speaker's Office to craft a bill that incorporated lessons learned by the industry over the past 10 years. AB 2398 will increase the landfill diversion and recycling of post-consumer carpet generated in California. To help fund the program, the bill requires that a carpet stewardship assessment fee of 5 cents be placed on every square yard of carpet sold in California. The assessment will begin on July 1st of this year. Our objective in the coming years is to incentivize the growth of diversion of post-consumer carpet from landfills, the growth of recycling of post-consumer carpet, increase the recyclability of carpets, and market growth of secondary products made from post-consumer carpet. Many entities will be involved in the implementation of 2398. Carpet manufacturers, importers, distributors, commercial dealers, retailers, consumers, and the carpet recyclers. Under the law, CARE will be the sole carpet stewardship organization for AB 2398 until April 1st, 2015. The Carpet Stewardship Organization is an organization that is appointed by one or more manufacturer to act as an agent on behalf of the manufacturer to design and submit and administer a carpet stewardship plan. As a stewardship organization, CARE must develop a stewardship plan to be approved by CalRecycle. It will collect a carpet stewardship assessment fee, negotiate performance goals with CalRecycle, distribute the carpet assessment funds to recipients, provide educational materials to retailers, and report performance through an annual report to CalRecycle. CARE is also engaged in an accounting firm who will be responsible for auditing the funding and disbursement of money collected. Since the fall, both the Carpet and Rug Institute and CARE has been working extensively with CalRecycle, carpet recyclers, and other stakeholders to draft regulations. 2 weeks ago, CalRecycle held a public workshop to hear comments from interested parties. We welcome the comments submitted and will be working with stakeholders and CalRecycle to implement regulations that are fair and accomplish the task at hand. Finally, I'd like to recognize recyclers like Ron Greitzer of LA Fiber and Larry Fink of Carpet Recyclers, who will be playing a vital role in the success of the program, who will now share a background on their companies and how AB 2398 will assist their businesses. Thank you.
Go ahead, Mr. Gritzer.
Greitzer. Mr. Chair, Mr. Vice Chair, committee members, thank you very much. It's an honor to be here today. Oh, a special thank you to Chair Chesbrough. I wanted to say this from the very beginning. You have been an inspiration to so many people. Your many years of dedication. If I remember, 16 years as board member of and chair of Integrated Management, state senator, and assemblyman. You've led so much of the environmental issues and programs we have in place today. You inspired so many. You've been a hero to so many. And I thank you very much for all your years of dedication. Los Angeles Fiber, established 27 years ago, my father and myself. We were one of the first companies in California to recycle plastic bottles. We used to use old mining equipment to separate the paper from, and the little plastic cups and the metal tops. In the 90s, we were recycling textile waste. At one point, all the currency in your pocket came out of our factory. We were the sole suppliers to U.S. Treasury of a specific type of textile fiber needed to make currency. In the year 2000, we started recycling carpet. 46% of the first billion pounds of carpet recycled came out of our factory. The U.S. EPA awarded us an Innovation Award for that product, the carpet cushion that I passed around, made out of 100% post-consumer carpet. International Society of Plastics awarded us Recycle of the Year for developing a way to recycle carpet into plastic. California Resource Recovery gave us Recycle of the Year. CARE has awarded us many different things. We've been established. We've been doing it. We know the difference between profitability and losing money. We've made money being a plastic recycler. We made money being a textile recycler. And we've lost money being a carpet recycler. Had AB 2398, Speaker Perez's bill, been in place in 2008, I would not have lost over 100 jobs. I would not have lost one of my factories. And I would not have gone from 87 million pounds a year of recycling down to 18. AB 2398, in my opinion, will change the way carpet recycling is done, not just in California, but in America. Because so much what happens in California today will happen the next day, the next day, the next day. We've always been innovators. We've learned the lessons on recycling. We've learned that it's a science to bring it in, but it creates markets to send it out. Because of AB 2398, and when the subsidy funding hits, we'd be able to buy down the commodity pricing and place waste carpet all over the world, but primarily in the United States, that's starving for nylon products today. The funding, the subsidy funding will make that difference. We have seen markets crash in automotive, in housing, and exports to China. And businesses crash. A lot of recycling businesses failed because of it. But if they had the subsidy funding been in place back in 2008, that would not have happened. Our flow of goods not just comes from our own trailers. We have over 100 trailers throughout the state. But we work with transfer stations, with MRFs. Not just done by ourselves. We work with waste haulers. The only thing we don't want the carpet commingled with the general waste flow. We've got to get it before. And those are the type of programs we're working with waste managements and with other companies to make sure that happens for us. And then my final comments. I have two final comments. One is I thank Speaker Perez for addressing a very important issue that will make a difference in our lives. And he had a great staff behind him working on that. And then I also would like to thank Product Stewardship Council and their dedicated leadership that help make all these things happen. Because we don't develop the programs in place today to divert the carpet, it's going to cost the citizens of the state of California a lot more money down the line. Puente Hills landfill is shutting down in a couple of years. And the added cost is estimated by my waste hauler. It'll increase by $120 a ton, transportation and tipping fees. That's 6 pennies a pound. If we AB 2398, it's only a penny a pound, a nickel a square yard. But just that alone today is sparking a new market and sparking interest in California waste. And that, I think, will make the biggest difference all before Puente Hills shuts down. Before we have a problem, we will have already established the markets and made the difference. Thank you very much for your time.
Mr. Fink.
Thank you. Again, my name is Larry Fink, and I'm the president of the Carpet Recyclers, as well as the parent company, GF Industries. GF Industries is a privately held family business, been recycling waste products to resources since 1992, and the roots of our family's business has been in the trash business for excess of 50 years. I'd certainly like, first of all, thank everybody for their support of AB 2398 and for your continued showing your interest in it by calling this meeting today. I'd like to just share a few of the challenges that we have run into over the last year and a half trying to develop the first of its kind, zero waste to landfill carpet recycling facility here in California. GF Industries entered into the carpet recycling business as a collector of carpet in 2009, and primarily we were supplying it to a very large German company named Soex Corporation in Fresno, California. We rather quickly became their largest supplier and eventually became their exclusive supplier. Even though that they are the largest recycler of fibers in the world, or one of the largest recyclers of fibers in the world, we became very concerned when we had put together an infrastructure of collecting very large volumes of carpet. And if, in fact, what if they decided, for whatever reason, to get out of the business, what would we do? We then made a decision to get into the actual, not only the collection, but the processing of carpet as well. Soex was basically using a technique that's used other places in the country, of where they would take off the face fibers of the carpet, and if you could visualize a lawnmower, where you would trim off the top quarter-inch or so, and it's actually only about 20% of the weight of the carpet is these face fibers that they were shearing off, or that process develops. It's a very marketable product. It's nylon 6 or 6/6. It's a very marketable. There's a worldwide shortage of the material, and that is very marketable. The problem with what we saw in that business model was that 75% of the carcass of the material, or the weight of the material of the carpet itself, is made of calcium carbonate, polypropylene, and the additional nylon that you don't get from just shearing the top. And quite frankly, the business model of just getting 20% and then landfilling the other 75 or 70% did not interest us one bit. So we went out and we pursued a consultant with over 25 years in the carpet business, specifically out of Georgia. It seems that's ground zero for everything in carpet in the United States. And we came up with some very innovative equipment that would not only, after the shearing process is done, would take the actual carpet of the material, the carcass of the material, through an extensive series of proprietary equipment, and actually shred the balance, the carcass itself, and clean the nylon, clean the calcium carbonate off the nylon, which would develop calcium carbonate, which is the largest by volume. About 50% of the weight of carpet is the calcium carbonate in the latex. Would liberate the nylon used from the calcium carbonate, as well as the calcium carbonate from the polypropylene. And through a series of cleansers and step cleaners and these other engineered specific cleaners, these products come out into three very distinct areas, and they're packaged up, and we have markets for all three. The calcium carbonate goes into, we also supply the cement industry with a tremendous amount of inert silica type materials. That goes into that material. The polypropylene is a very marketable product, not as high dollar value as the nylon. And the nylon used have very much a demand, maybe not as much as the face fibers, but still they have a very, very high demand worldwide. However, everything that we're selling at this point does stay here in the United States. We're presently running 2/3 of the equipment that we've acquired. We're running at a production rate of just under 500,000 pounds a week. We anticipate to have the rest of our equipment up and running by the end of this month, March. We expected to invest about $2 million to buy this new state-of-the-art equipment, have installed and operational in our new facility in La Mirada in October of 2010. Well, as I said, we're a relatively small company, and it's now $6 million later, and it's been a challenge for us to get where we are. I'd just like to take just a few minutes to show you how a $2 million engineered specification out of Georgia can turn to $6 million of real dollars spent here in California. First of all, was a $250,000 upgrade required by our local service provider, our electricity provider, that was determined after we had a licensed electrical engineer give us authorization that there was adequate power for our new equipment that we were purchasing. We did have delays of equipment, about 50% of the equipment, of approximately 4 months, which put us 4 to 5 months behind in actually delivering any product. There was initial hesitancy in the marketplace of converting to recycling rather than the way it historically had been handled, which many times it was just putting it in your dumpster and it was going off to the landfill, and they didn't have to segregate it. As Ron pointed out, they just put everything in the dumpster and it went off to some landfill somewhere. And that was the way that it was handled. They didn't want to segregate by types of nylon or other things such as that. So we as Ron pointed out, we also have a transportation arm of, we teamed with a very large trucking company to provide the services where we can go out and drop trailers in the marketplace, and installers or carpet dealers can, when after their installations are done for the day, they come back and put their used carpet into these trailers, and then when it's full, we go out and we swap a trailer. We also feel that one of the volumes in California that are available, in CARE, I think the number is somewhere about 300 million pounds a year of carpet are available here in California. I think we're handling on an annualized basis close to 50 to 60 million pounds a year. I'm not sure what Ron's numbers are, but I think between the two of us, there's probably a third of that carpet managed that's available out there. However, the bigger numbers of concern is that 200 million pounds that continues to go into landfills every year. And how do we get to those? We as an industry, how do we get to those? So we've looked at logistic differences, some of these drop boxes, some new type of trucks, to new type of equipment that we could drop at the smaller, more rural locations and accumulate in larger quantity shipments and then bring them back to either our facility or like facilities like that. Just a couple more points here. I just want to point out that when we started this, we did not plan on AB 2398. And I wish I could take credit that we were as smart as Ron has been, but we're not anywhere near that smart. We just went ahead and we invested this money, and it has been a challenge of going from a $2 million anticipated budget to $6 million. Could have put a number of companies out of business, and it's been a struggle for us. But now that we see with the 2398 funds available, we have added over 50 new employees since July 1st at our La Mirada facility. We have facilities in Oakland as well as La Mirada. But with the 2398 funds, we now are encouraged. We could continue to build out our business model, as well as we would anticipate to put a second facility in Northern California to service the Northern California market. And quite frankly, we feel that's all due because of 2398. We would have had a real problem financially to try to support our activities without the potential of those dollars coming in. I'd just like to compliment everybody between CARE, Cal Recycle, and the carpet manufacturer support for their support of 2398. We had fortunately, we had them all to have a facility of our new plant last 2 weeks ago down in La Mirada, and that certainly wouldn't have happened without the cooperative effort of all of them. So thank you to everybody for that. As I said, we're presently on track to recycle somewhere in the area of about 60 million pounds totally for the year of carpet, or tracking on an annual basis for that. And that represents a diversion of almost, the 60 million pounds of carpet out of landfills. That would save the reuse of about 6.4 million gallons of oil that would have been taken to make, that was recovered from that recycled product, or would have taken to create new chemical products. And it keeps approximately 63,000 metric tons of greenhouse gases out of the atmosphere from the production of that oil. So with that, I again thank you for this opportunity. We do anticipate with the growth and with our additional business plan, we should have in the area between 300 and 350 new green jobs coming within by the end of 2011. Thank you very much.
Well, that's good news. Chairman Chesbrough.
Well, I'm very excited and inspired by the progress that's being made, so congratulations on that, and it seems like there's going to be a lot more in the near future. The question I have is, earlier we had I don't know if you all were in the room at the moment, but we had a discussion about manufacturers moving towards more recyclable or less wasteful products. Is there, within the carpet manufacturing industry, any focus on the design of the carpet from the standpoint of its recyclability that you're aware of?
Well, one, for the commercial applications, there's carpet tiles.
All right.
And carpet tiles are, in most instances, 100% recyclable. You've got to remember, I've been recycling carpet now for a lot of years. Carpet is made for the punishment of people walking, actually a lot of people walking on it. It's made for endurance. It's made not to fall apart. The last thing you want after a few years is your carpet to fall apart in your house, or let alone in a beautiful area like this. So it's made not to be easy to be deconstructed. Mm-hmm. It takes innovative technology. Larry has what we have. I forgot one very important point. I don't think AB 2398 would have been passed without the support of the carpet industry, without the support of Product Stewardship Council and other nonprofits, without Speaker Prez's office. But it really took, and we took a Democratic Assembly and Republican governor to sign this thing, but it really took the carpet industry to get behind it.
That's a crucial factor, it seems. But I should probably save this for closing comments, but I think we've heard if I try to pick a thread out of the conversation about successes and challenges, it's that when there's a partnership that the industry is part of and helps to design, that's when we begin to move into that territory where it's possible to design something that not only can be politically successful, but actually work from a business standpoint as well, and not be a top-down government telling industry to do something.
Right, and the CARE has been in existence since 2002, and it was the industry coming together with no government pressure. The industry came on their own and saying, we want to start creating a program to start recycling this carpet. And so we've been evolving over the last 10 years and getting a lot of good input, seeing where the recyclers. It also has incentivized people creating businesses like Ron and Larry.
Thanks.
Vice Chair Miller.
Thank you all for your testimony. Very informative, lots of facts and figures. The green jobs that you talked about, won't those jobs really just be shifted from a local waste management agency to your industry? It's merely just a shift of jobs. It's not really a net gain of new jobs.
I don't think necessarily. And from our experience, most of our carpet, we get a number of small installers that come in. For example, you've seen this very large carpet company that advertises every day on TV. In LA, they have 110 independent installers that come to our warehouse every morning, drop off their carpet, and then go over and pick up their carpet for the next day. Before us, they were going into a landfill where it may have been touched once by a trash truck and then gone to a landfill, and you probably had one piece of heavy equipment moving that material into a landfill, and it just kind of sat there, and they process it and cover it every day. We're taking that material. We have to take it in. We have to identify it chemically using some field instrumentation. We identify what type of material it is, be it nylon, nylon 6. We have to cut it specifically to the size we need to feed our machines. Unfortunately, we've had engineers after engineers trying to automate that process for us, so we can't. That is a labor's job. And so at the front end, we bring in, most of those positions are, I've heard a variety of names for them, but, green collar workers, if you will. These are people that these positions were not available before, I don't think because it was going to the landfill, where now we've brought these 60 or so people, and I anticipate more, because of the movement of this material that it is our feedstock of our product that we are manufacturing. So I really don't, I know there's not a one-for-one relationship. I don't know what exactly, but I think it's substantially mostly new positions.
Vice Chair Miller, I agree with what Larry had to say 100%. These jobs are new jobs. They're not being shifted from another industry. The need for recycled content, the need for raw material, because virgin raw materials are getting really expensive today, especially if they're petroleum-based. Virgin nylon is $1.50 to $1.70 a pound. Users of nylon for automotive parts, for carpet cushion, for just normal plastic needs, can't afford that. If they had to pay that virgin price, they would be losing jobs, letting people go. By having recycled content, which are all new jobs right now, having recycled and inserting them into those products are saving those jobs in manufacturing as well as creating new jobs in recycling.
I'd like to thank you for bringing us up to date on the new carpet program here in California, and I thank you for your patience with us.